hello, hello. Good morning. Welcome to Big Hard Books and Classics. My name is Alan, and this is Victober, Wuthering Heights. First, I'd like to thank our four hosts, Katie, Angie, and Lucy the Reader, for giving us this great opportunity for a free education. And if it wasn't for primarily Lucy and Katie Lunsden, I wouldn't have read this novel. And I am consider myself educated. I have a master's degree, yes, in English. It's creative writing, but it's English. And I'd never read this. I always thought it was the Burt Lancaster movie. The name escapes me now, but this is a complicated novel. I hold it in the ranks of Ulysses and Faulkner, and that. And it's my third read. I read it twice last year. I liked it so much I got the critical edition last year. And I reread it with this edition. I want to get a real nice one, a leather bound. I'll be reading it again. Probably not next Victober. I want to read Anne Bronte's The Tenant of Windfell Hall. And you either love WH or you don't. And I love it. The things I love about it are the things that other people will hate about it. The chaos and what's with the characters. They're all named Catherine or Kathy. And the family tree looks like a cesspool of inbreeding, except for my man Heathcliff. And then there's all the H characters. And it's just, it's fun. I mean, I like the chaos. I like that Cliff is a ladies' man. He really is. He's a manipulator in that, but I understand why. Indeed, I do. And these two narrators we have, Nellie Dean, Mrs. Dean, and she goes by another name too sometimes, and she is a gossip. She likes her little stories. Do you think that Heathcliff going off, putting lots of hair in the casket and crawling in through the casket, do you think that is really true? Or do you think she kind of made it up to spice things up a little bit? And then she tells, she's not even the housekeeper in the beginning. That's a woman named Zia, I think. Zia. She's in the end too. She's Cliff's housekeeper. And look at the family tree. It's confusing. I want to also thank Kate Howe for turning me on to Grana, the story of an island, the Aran Islands. I have that on my Kindle, and I've read it, but I don't enjoy that. I used to read Kindle on the trains in Portland, but I have the book coming soon, should be today or tomorrow, and I try to get to it, but this Victober has been not very good for me and my TBR. So let's get into, I want to mention a new film I saw. I've seen all the films. I take that back. I haven't seen all the films. I've seen the major ones. The old one, the one with Ralph Fiennes in it. I enjoyed that. But there's even a better one, and it's a BBC production. Linked below, with Corky Glenrock directed it. Tom Hardy as Cliff, and Charlotte Riley as Catherine. Now the ending, they take liberties, of course, but the ending is different from the book. But I encourage everyone to watch that. By the way, my favorite character in the novel is Joseph. And there's critical essays saying his accent is not Yorkshire, it's not North England, it's Ireland. So I could go there. Symbolism of the dogs. And I'm going to defend Cliff here a little bit. It's another time and place, his cruelty to animals. He doesn't think animals are pets. You can tell by the names of the dogs. And, when the dog attacks Kathy and the heel and that, he remembers that. That's why he hangs Fanny. No, nice spaniel. He hangs Nanny, but Fanny, but Nellie finds the dog hanging and releases it, and the dog does live. And Isabella, incidentally, does not see that. And that's in chapter 12. Brian at Bookish and I had a discussion about this, and I'm pretty sure I'm right, but, I've only read the book 3-4 times over, so. But chapter 12, page 93 in here, but let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraphs. If I were only sure it would kill him, she interrupted, I'd kill myself directly. No, that's Kathy. But you can see how let me just, before I regress more, this is Kathy hallucinating, talking in her sleep from lack of food, which is exactly what Cliff does in the end. Now, in the book, it's unclear whether he committed suicide or not. The characters seem to will themselves to death. The vapors, And so, okay, here we go. Yeah, it's in chapter 12. When the Dr. Mr. Kenneth comes in. My surprise and perplexity were great to discover, by touch more than vision, Miss Isabella Springer, Fanny, suspended by a handkerchief and nearly at its last gasp. And then the doctor comes in. We're on the next page. This news filled me with fresh tears. The little dog was yelping in the garden, yet I spared a minute to open the gate for it, but instead of going to the house door, it coursed up and down, snuffling the grass, and would have escaped to the road had I not seized and conveyed it in with me. And this is the day that Cliff and Isabella elope, and I contend that Isabella didn't see the dog, and Cliff didn't kill it, but I'm not, making exceptions for animal cruelty. Again, that was then, this is now. Doesn't make animal cruelty right. In the opening chapter with Lockwood, he's confused. He actually is getting on with Cliff quite well. And he sees a pile of rabbits. He thinks they're rats or something. That's the kind of person Cliff is. He's a hunter. The dogs are tools. But the reason he hangs Fanny is because he remembered the Linton dogs attacking his Kathy in her foot and that. So he's I wouldn't be surprised if he's Irish too. He holds a grudge forever, doesn't he? Now, let me talk about the narrators for a bit. Nellie is a gossip. She likes her stories. I think she's peppering the story a little bit, the reality of stories, like Heathcliff jumping in the grave, or putting lots of hair entwined with Kathy's in there, and that's additional information that I think she added a little, you think? And then when it's filtered through Lockwood. But I enjoy that. It's an unreliable narrator. And you definitely have to suspend your disbelief to get into this novel. I get a catharsis from reading this novel, just like Light in August gives me a catharsis. Joe Christmas is a despicable character, yet I feel for him. I feel very much for him. It's a release. Now, when Heathcliff left Thrushcroft Grange, he hung Isabella's dog, and they're symbolic, these dogs. I think he's also he hangs the dog because Isabella represents a force of life to him, like a new beginning or something, and he just won't have it, will he? When you look up codependency in the Victorian dictionary, you see a picture of Cliff and Kathy. They're both so similar, and Kathy is her own free spirit from a very young age, and so is Cliff. And I just enjoy him, what he does to Harrington. And how does Heathcliff make his fortune? Does he make it in gambling, or we don't know, but he surely does. And how is he able to, at the end, not only become the owner of Thruss Grange, but Withering Heights as well? And it's down to Victorian law, and that's why he married Isabella. And now he can't live with that either, can he? This novel is something to behold.